Hi, I'm Celeste and welcome to Find Your Purple. Today is day 24 of my 40 days of reflection. So the thought today is about the power of the word. And in recent months, I guess I've been really focusing on the power of the word. And part of it is due to two of the old school, I don't know if they're pastors, preachers, evangelists, I don't know what they are, but it's Kenneth E. Hagin and Charles Capps. And Charles Capps' mentor was Kenneth E. Hagin, so the messages are pretty similar. They just have a little bit different style, but it's very country, Texas kind of approach. And Charles Capps referred to Kenneth Hagin. A friend of mine sent me a few of the books on Charles Capps, and that in his sermons he had talked about Kenneth Hagin and how that's where he came to believe the power of the word and faith and prayer. So that led me to Kenneth Hagin. So I've been listening to both of those in tandem. But they make it very clear, and if you listen to enough of it, it really, really strikes a chord with me. And it ties back to so many. Norman Cousins would talk about healing in the word, and I think many of the New Age philosophies talk about the power of the word. If you keep saying something like "I'm going to be sick" or "I am sick," your body hears it, and your subconscious will believe it. So many times that we talk about saying "fake it till you make it," and keep talking about what you want it to be, not what it is. Don't get mired down in the circumstances of the illness or the whatever the circumstance is. And so while I'm not in the New Age world anymore, there's a lot of reference to the power of the tongue in the Bible, and they refer to it as the rudder of the boat. It could be a huge ship, and that small little rudder determines which direction it's going. And so it talks about the power of that tongue, and that the tongue can heal and the tongue can kill. And I think if you have an issue in your life, and whether it's a relationship, whether it's health, whether it's financial, listen to your words, because you do catch on. And when they pointed it out, I started seeing a lot of terms I would use, like "it's killing me," or "I'm sick to death of something," or I can't even think of all of them now, but they're just little phrases that sound very innocent, but in fact are very negative. And you have to really watch that. Or even how you talk about your kids, or you say you have a math problem, or "I'm not good at math," or "I'm not good at remembering names," or things that you're saying. And I think maybe in my generation too, maybe it's an issue because I was taught you don't blow your own horn or toot your own horn or whatever that saying is. And so oftentimes there's a depreciating kind of false humility, perhaps, that you kind of downplay some stuff using words that, in fact, when you say them out loud, words have power. Just as you can tell a child they're being stupid or something, those words have power, and "sticks and stones can break my bones, but words will never hurt me." They've proven now that's not true. Words are very painful, very hurtful, and we use them against ourselves. Like, "I'm going to get sick," or "I always get the flu," or "I have bad allergies," or "next month's allergy season's starting, and oh, my allergies are going to be bad again." And you're talking yourself into things. So look in the Bible, look up the word tongue, look up the power of the words, and start thinking about what you're saying. If you're going to use the tongue, then use it for your health, for your relationships. Even reading Bible verses out loud, it's something Kenneth Hagin and Charles Capps say is very important, because by hearing it and hearing it in your own voice, it's even more powerful. When you speak it and then you hear it back, that gives it an extra power. So my thought today is just think about the words you're saying. Again, common ones I would have used is "I'm lousy at directions," "I'm lousy at math," "I'm not good at remembering names," things like that. And I realize that is a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I'm really being careful now with the words I choose, And even when it comes to healing or comes to being sick or comes to financial situations, don't be talking about the problem all the time. Don't be talking about your symptoms all the time. I'm working with groups now on healing, and that's really, really powerful, is that you don't want to be talking about your symptoms all the time. You might say, I have the symptoms of such and such, but you don't want to be saying all the time that you have cancer or you have this or you have that. And again, I'm just now getting into it the last few months, but the more I've gotten into it, the more I've done research on it, there's so much power in the words you choose. So keep that in mind. I think you can do a lot of changing of your life simply by changing the words you choose to use. So that's it for today. As always, grab your cup of tea, sit back, and let's start sharing. Until next time, bye-bye.